Hi everybody, and happy eDay! Well, I thought I'd start today's lesson by sharing with you a little story. Many of you might not know just how long I've been a musician. You see, I've been playing instruments and singing for a long time. My first instrument was the piano, and my mom gave me piano lessons starting in first grade all the way into middle school. In middle school, I joined the choir, and in high school, I joined the band as a percussionist. Now, percussion instruments, remember, those are the instruments that you play by hitting them either with a stick, a mallet, or your hands. So instruments like drums and marimbas and xylophones, those are all percussion instruments. I really fell in love with those, and so when it came time to go to college, I decided to continue playing percussion instruments and learn how to become a music teacher. Now, if you want to become a music teacher, you have got to put in a lot of practice, and that's what I decided to do when I went to college. In fact, every single day, except for Sundays, I practiced for 2 hours. That means every week I was practicing, well, I'd say 10 to 12 hours every week, and I did that for 5 years. One thing that's kind of cool is I wrote it all down right here. This is my percussion practice log. And in here, I have page after page, hour after hour recorded of all the things I worked on for 5 whole years. You know, it was kind of fun. One day, I decided to total it all up and see just how long I had practiced. You want to know how long I practiced when I was in college? Oh my goodness, here it is. I practiced for a total of 1,593 hours and 35 minutes. That's a lot of time, seriously. But you know what? It was worth it, and I got to play all kinds of incredible music. Here, take a look at this. This is some of the music I got to play in college. This was my favorite piece, called Rhapsody in Blue. Boy, that one was tough. I learned how to play that on the marimba. Look at all those notes. Oh, this was a cool one. See, I worked a lot playing a marimba, which is kind of like a xylophone, but even bigger. And I used 4 mallets, so I could play a lot of notes. Man, this is crazy. I also learned how to play instruments like, this is a snare drum piece. Whoo, it went fast. I learned how to play timpani drums like on this piece. I learned how to play an instrument called a vibraphone, which is kind of like a xylophone, but it has a pedal that holds out the notes. You know, a better way of putting it is maybe like a metallophone. This is just some of the music I played. Isn't that crazy? That's a lot of work. 1,500 hours. Just think, I could have been playing video games. But instead, I decided to learn music. And what's neat is that's what prepared me to teach music to all of you guys. And my hope is that you really enjoy it and that it was worth it. I hope so. I think so. Well, there's lots of instruments I learned in college, but one of the ones I didn't spend too much time on was the drum set. Now, I had bought a drum set in high school because I had always had the dream of learning it one day. But as time went on, I just had a hard time finding the time for the drum set until recently. You see, guys, you may not know this, but I've been teaching myself to play the drum set for the past few weeks. And I'm still learning, but I'm getting the idea. See, a drum set is a lot different from other percussion instruments because this is one of the only percussion instruments where you have to use your foot. See, down here is an instrument called a bass drum, and it's part of the drum set, and there's a pedal. And you've got to use your foot to play that pedal. You put your foot on top like this. Pretty cool, right? Well, it's not easy because playing an instrument with your foot is a lot harder than playing an instrument with your hand. Now, some people are really naturally good at it, but I am not, and so it takes me a lot of practice. So the drum set, you don't only use your foot for the bass drum, you also use it for this thing called the hi-hats. Now, the hi-hats are cymbals here. There's 2 of them. There they are. One like this, one like that. You put them on this little thing, and you put your foot on another pedal down here. You let the pedal up, and the cymbals go up. You push the pedal down, and the cymbals go down. Whoa, that's loud. You know, you can also play it with a stick. See, a drum set, it's really made up of two things. Drums and cymbals. You've got your bass drum or your kick drum on the ground, and you've got your hi-hats or your cymbals over here on your side. But you have other drums and other cymbals too, and I want to give you a little introduction to each. In addition to your hi-hat, you also have the crash cymbal. That's the big, loud cymbal. You smack it like this. Now in my drum set, I also have a splash cymbal. It's a smaller cymbal. Pretty cool. I like stopping the sound like that. Further, you have this guy over here. It's called a ride cymbal. And you can play in a couple different parts of the ride cymbal. You can play on the edge, or you can play in the bell right here. You can even put them together like this. Now these three drums are called the tom drums. You've got a high tom, a medium tom, and a low tom. But in addition to the bass drum, I'd say the most important drum is the snare drum. And the snare drum has a switch that allows it to make two different sounds. The switch is right here, and this is what turns on and off the snares. Now, a snare drum without snares sounds like this. But when you turn the snares on, it sounds like this. Now, how does it make that sound? Well, underneath the drum, it has these cords, these metal strings that go across the bottom of the snare drum. And when you hit the drum, it vibrates against those cords, producing that distinct snare sound. Oh man. It is hard to put a drum on with one hand. Ugh, there we go. So, as a review, you've got your bass drum. You've got your hi-hats. You've got your crash cymbal. You've got your splash cymbal. You've got your ride cymbal. You've got your tom drum, your high tom, your medium tom, and your low, or it's also called the floor tom. Here's your snare drum without the snares. And here's how it sounds with the snares. Loud, right? Now, you probably want to hear what it sounds like all together. Wouldn't that be fun? So here it is, kids. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, just kidding. And that's what drummers often do, is they start the songs, they're like, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they start rocking out and everything. But, well, anyways. You don't have to do it that way. I just thought it'd be fun. But here's what it sounds like. Do you like the drum set? Hey, listen, you don't have to practice for 1,593 hours and 35 minutes just to be able to play an instrument. You know what? In order to have fun, it doesn't take nearly that long. One thing I think is pretty cool is to grab a bunch of pots and pans from home, grab some wooden spoons, and make your own drum set. Listen, just have fun with it. All that long hours and hours and hours of practicing, that'll come later. But right now, while you're still exploring, just try some new sounds, try some instruments, see what it is that you enjoy, and one day you may want to practice. Not because it's something you have to do, but it's because it's something that you want to do, something that you enjoy, and something that you want to share with others. Thank you, everybody, and have a great rest of your eDay. Bye!